Great. Okay. So welcome back. Seems to me like Wednesdays or every other day, core days. But same routine we always do. Okay. So just a couple FYIs. We keep our gaze at the ceiling. We don't crank our neck to look at a device because we don't want to have any injuries there. I have a blanket underneath me for warmth and comfort since we're going to be on our back for most of this practice. A rolled up towel and a block for my head. So as we come down onto our backs, position the towel underneath the shoulder blades, support the head with the block. Maybe let's start in a constructive rest pose with the legs, the feet out wide on your mat, toes pointing towards the end of the mat, and the knees just resting lightly on each other. Taking a moment here to just close down the eyes, to welcome yourself to your mat, to welcome yourself to the time that you set aside to this practice, to welcome the breath fully into the body so that you can feel it as it moves through the chest and the ribs and the belly. And then to always remember that nice, long, soft exhale that washes through, sweeps through the body, softening all of the tightness or tension that it might find there. And again, with that monkey mind, whatever chatter, whatever is occupying the mind this morning, just take a moment and let the mind notice the breath coming in through the nose. Let the mind trace that breath as it comes through the throat, slightly constricted, as it spreads through the rib cage and inflates the belly. And then let the mind center on the release of the breath as it softens the belly and the ribs and the chest and the body. And just take a moment of gratitude for this day and all that it is going to hold for you. Blinking open the eyes, heel toe the feet so that they're hip distance apart. Maybe remove now the block from behind the head and place the head down the back of the head on the mat. So this is the first scan to see whether the towel or the bolster that you're using under the shoulders to produce that decline here is too high or maybe not high enough. So take a moment to adjust your towel. You want to be able to feel the stretch through the collarbone area, through the pecs. But at the same instance, you want to be able to breathe or talk without any constriction. So just take a moment. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to unroll mine just a little bit. That's the beauty of the towel. You can unroll it, you can roll it back up. All right, and once you're in a position for the upper body, place the heel of the hands at the hip crease. So now we're just going to take that scan again, just to slide the fingers up towards the knees and come back down nice and slow. Another test to see lifting the shoulders off of the mat and just noticing how the front and back body feel this morning. So on your inhale, draw the belly in and begin to slide the hands up towards the knees as you lift the shoulder tips and the head off the mat. It's early, just take your time. And then exhale, lower everything down. So let's take about 4 sweeps here. Nice and slow. Inhale, belly draws in, lifting the shoulder tips, lifting up the head. Hands slide towards the knees. And then slowly return. 3 more on your own with breath. Draw the belly in, lift as high as you can lift. And then lower. Finishing that up, kind of warming up pre-game here. Interlace now behind the back of the head, the curvature of the skull. Take a moment, just let the elbows go wide first. Again, just feeling where we're going to be working right underneath the sternum, where the ribs come together right at the center of the upper chest here. So interlace behind the head, elbows wide. Just take a deep breath here and release the breath, and then draw the elbows up towards the ceiling. So as we begin, it's the 4-part move. Draw the belly in and inhale, come up halfway. So now the spine is straight, the neck is in line with the spine. As you exhale, bring the elbows in towards the knees as you shorten the distance from the hip point to that low rib. And then come back to that halfway point and lower all the way down. So we're not pulling on the neck or head at all. The head is just resting in the palms. Inhale, belly draws in, come up halfway. Exhale, round in. Come back down halfway and release. Each part, inhale, exhale. Inhale back halfway and exhale down. 3 more like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and releasing down on your own. And as you finish the last one, take your time, lower the head, open up the elbows. Take a full deep breath in across the collarbone area. And as you exhale, just see if you can relax through the shoulders and the face. Now I'm going to be adding on elbow to knee across the body. But if you found that this was effective this morning and you want to stay just with the 4-part move on that lateral, on that linear line, stay with that. Otherwise, join me, elbows are up. Again, draw the belly in, inhale halfway. Exhale, left knee, right shoulder. Join at center or come close, or maybe not. Come back halfway and lower. Inhale up, cross over. Now the idea is elbow to the knee, not the knee to the elbow. Come back halfway and lower. So we want to really reach here. Each part a full breath. It's easy when we do core to try and hold our breath. It's most important that we breathe into the belly, into all the digestive organs there. So take your time, whichever option you're choosing. Momentum is nice, but it's not effective. So mindful movements. I have 2 more each side. And as you finish again, lower yourself down, open up the elbows, take a few breaths here. So as you deeply breathe in, you're going to stretch where you just worked right across the chest. And then as you breathe out, you can just relax the chest, relax the belly. Roll over to one side. Let's take the towel or the bolster, whatever you're using, off to the side. Keep it handy for a moment. Bring the feet out wide on your mat. Again, like that constructive rest. But here we're just going to windshield wiper, nice and easy, back and forth. So just kind of resetting the spine, bringing some blood flow into the back body. A little bit of a release through the hips. And then heel toe the feet back in, set yourself up for that bridge position. So again, the feet are parallel, close to the sit bones. I think the cue is maybe you can take your fingertips and graze the back of your heel. Pick up your chest just a little bit, squeeze the shoulder blades under, maybe pick up the head, find some length in the neck. So from here, we're going to press into the feet, and we're going to arms beside the body, palms down, press into the arms, and lift the hips up and find a bridge pose. So as you come into your bridge, lift the hips high, let the weight roll to the space between the shoulder tips. Your bridge is that back of the shoulders. It's not the head and it's not the neck. Your breast should not be constricted. There should be no weight in the head here. So as you lift those hips higher, just begin to stretch open the front body. Take a full deep breath here. And then we'll grab that towel or bolster or block, whatever you're using, and place it underneath you at the sacrum, that ledge between the low back and the hip points. So it should be a comfortable fit for you. If not, adjust yourself accordingly. So we're not on the fleshy part of the buttons, and we're certainly not on our low back. And the hips are elevated. So bringing our legs to tabletop, again, knees directly over those hip points. Take a deep breath in. We're just going to take some heel taps here. So belly is in to support the spine here. We've got the hips elevated so that we don't take it in the low back. If you feel it in the low back, don't come down as far. As you're ready, deep breath in. Left heel touches down. Nice and slow, like you're pulling it through honey. Bring it back up. And then take the right heel down. And slowly, like you just have resistance there to bring it up. Use those low belly muscles. I always like to, again, I think I say it all the time, keep my finger pads down in my low abdomen so I can feel those muscles that I'm working contract and relax. So just alternate back and forth. Again, holding in the core here, just for the protection of the spine. We don't want to use the back muscles. And that's what happens when our front muscles are a little bit weaker. The back takes it. So just kind of keep your eye on that. Feet are flexed, toes are spread. Take 2 more each side. Notice your breath. And then return to your tabletop position. Again, maybe squeeze those shoulder blades under. There's no work in the upper body. The face should be soft, the jaw soft. Now let's send those legs towards the ceiling. They don't have to be straight here. Re-engage the core. Draw in your breath, and slowly, left heel comes down to tap. You don't have to bring it down all the way. You can even just use your block there and tap it on your block if you'd like some height there. And then we'll take it right side. Again, use resistance to pull the leg back up, and then left. Draws it up. Lower down the heel and tap. Bring it back. Take 5 more each side. And as you finish, draw the knees in towards your chest. Because your hips are elevated, let the hips roll in with you. So it's like you're curling into a ball. And you'll feel hopefully a nice stretch through the glutes and the low back. Re-extend the legs to the ceiling. This time, ankles together, calves, knees, and thighs, so forming one leg. Again, I only go down a third because I do take it in my back. So you just be aware of how the back body feels and adjust yourself accordingly. Again, working low, low belly here. Inhale, draws the belly in, and on the exhale, slowly lower. Both legs together as one, any amount. And then use that resistance to bring them back right over the hip points. Flex through the feet, flare the toes, lower slowly, and then draw back. So any of the options, whether you take the table with the heel tabs or alternating, we're working the same muscles. So you don't have to use all three options. Just pick one that's the best for you this morning. Let's do 3 more nice, slow, mindful movements now. Use the breath here. Send the breath deep into the diaphragm. Last one. And then rebend the knees and draw them in. And again, allow yourself to roll into a nice ball. Really a nice stretch for the back body. And a release for the front. Drop the feet back down to the mat, coming back into that bridge position. Arms beside the body, palms down. Let's lift those hips on the in-breath. Find that nice high bridge. Again, knees pointing straight towards the top of your mat so you get this nice slope from the knees to the hip points to the shoulder. But again, head and neck nice and free. Take 3 breaths. And removing the towel from underneath you. Your choice. You can come down with a flat back, or you can come down, like we say, with the string of pearls that you're putting on the dresser, coming down rounded or flat. There's good science to both of those. It just depends on how it feels in your body. Once you arrive, settle the hips heavy, walk the feet out, take that windshield wiper right and left. We'll work through the obliques, not very long, but just again to get into the side body. So grab your block, bring your legs back to that tabletop. I have my block lengthwise from my knees through my inner calf. Flex through the feet and flare the toes. Again, watch the knees right over the hip points. You can hold on to the top of your, or the sides of your mat for leverage, or if you feel more open, bring the arms to cactus, just opening up the chest. Squeeze the blocks with the knees, and as you exhale the breath, just take the block and the knees to the right, any amount. Squeeze the block, inhale, come back to center, and take it left. Squeeze in. Shoulders stay on the mat, inhale to center, exhale to the other side. The idea here is to try and keep the hips in one line so that when you're over onto one side, maybe the hips stack north and south if you can come that far down, but just keep them so that the knees are together and the hips and the hip points stay in line. And just roll back and forth, cross the low back. And each time you're at that side, just notice the ribs and the space you're creating in the intercostal muscles there. Take 2 more sweeps each side. And then let's meet back in our center. Take the block into the hands, take the arms overhead, resting on the back of the hands. Extend the legs long, point the toes, big full body stretch. Drawing the belly in now so that we protect the low back, and you don't have to go. You can even modify this, you guys. If you're not, we're gonna pass the block. But if your back isn't happy this morning, pass it off to the calves and down. Okay, so you find a modification that works for you. Stretch it long first. Inhale, bellies in. On the exhale, legs up, arms up. Pass that block to the feet, and then slowly come back down. Stretch it out. Inhale, draws the belly in. Exhale, legs up, pass the block. Inhale, everything comes down. Big breath in, belly in. On the exhale, lift those shoulder blades, let that block reach to the feet, and then lower down. Again, the same principle as earlier. The feet aren't coming to the head. The head and the shoulders are coming up to meet the feet. Important breath work here. Keep the core engaged. Keep the breath full, fluid, and steady. Let's try 2 more. And as you finish, drop the block. Stretch it out. And then bend the knees. We'll make our way and join in all fours. All fours feels good after some core work, because as you take the inhale and you drop the belly, you just get this beautiful stretch from the sternum to the belly button. So set yourself up, spread your fingers wide, draw in the core. And as you release all the breath, take the inhale, dropping that belly, lifting the tailbone, lifting the chest. Just pause here. Just see how much of an arch you can comfortably get in the back so that you can drop that belly down and you get the stretch from the collarbone to the pubic bone here. And then press into the palms, tuck everything in, chin tucks in, tailbone tucks in, belly tucks in, round through the spine. And then whatever feels good on your own, just flow your cat and cow. We'll be moving into a forearm plank. Remembering, of course, you can always do your forearm plank with your knees down. I'm going to add a couple little extra gifts to that forearm plank. You're welcome. One more cat and cow, and then we'll do our grand finale here. So come down first onto your forearms. Spread your fingers wide. Step the right foot back and the left foot back, and just drop the hips coming into Sphinx pose. As you arrive in your Sphinx, spreading those fingers, pressing the palms in, like you could drag the top of your mat to meet your belly. Pull your hands back so that shoulder tips fall back and you squeeze your shoulder blades, but at the same time, the space from the belly button all the way up to the collarbone stretches out really nice. Taking a nice full breath here. It's also a very passive back bend. So bringing the hands together in a fist at the center of your mat, tuck your toes under. Pressing into the forearms, lift the hips up. So setting yourself up here, heels go back, belly draws in. The hips are in line with the shoulders. As you press into the forearms, round through those shoulders. Keep the core engaged. And now see if you can keep your breath steady. So we're here just for a few minutes. And if you want to add on here without moving any part of your body, simply lift the right toes an inch off of the mat. Keep your breath going. This is hard. And drop it down. Reestablish yourself. And maybe here, without any movement, just lift the left toes. Any amount. And drop. Okay. Reestablish yourself and your breath. Pick up the right toes, off to the side, tap, and bring it back. See if you can hold the rest of the body straight. Left foot up, out to the side, and back. Reestablish the breath. Heels back, chest up. 2 more full rounds of breath. Squeeze the belly in. Squeeze the glutes. Engage the thighs. Every muscle working to hold your body weight up. Lower the knees. Lower the belly. Come back to Sphinx. Drag the hands back towards you. Send the crown of the head towards the top of the mat. So we're not going for height. We're going for length. Length in the front body and length in the back body. Stack the palms. Send the elbows wide. Rest the forehead on the pillow of the hands. Allow the shoulders and the chest to just sink down towards your mat. Take a moment and just shimmy out the hips. Bend the knees, take a windshield wiper, back and forth. And we'll close our practice with a belly down Shavasana. So just allow the legs to be wherever is comfortable. Again, rest the head. Allow the chest and the shoulders to release down towards the mat. The hips to be heavy and loose. The breath to come back to its nice, fluid, natural state. And if you had the luxury of time, turning off your device and just spending a few moments here in gratitude for this body, the work it does for you each and every day. Gratitude for this beautiful day, whatever it holds for you, make it special. You're not going to get the day back. Namaste.